I moved to Charlotte, North Carolina. How in the world did I move and why? Well, I got a job. And if you watched my last life update video, it was called Why I Don't Want to Be a Chef. Watch that one before you watch this. That video was, I was super discouraged and down in that video and hopeless in a sense. I had spent so much time applying to jobs, going to first, second, and third interviews, and nothing. And so 2020 and part of 2021 was the hardest time I've ever experienced in my whole life. But now I'm in Charlotte because I got a job, and it's kind of an interesting story, so I'm going to share that story now. I'm also in my kitchen because I'm going to start cooking dinner, even though it's 10:57 in the morning. I just wanted to do something as I filmed this video, and I kind of like this new kitchen. Okay, so when January rolled around, I said that I was no longer applying for jobs because I physically couldn't anymore. I just physically, mentally could not. And I had applied for every job I knew of and have used every resource that I knew. And so I just, at that point, I was just like, I don't know what else to do. April came around and I had a trip to go to Philly with one of my friends I met in college. And it was my first trip that I had taken since the whole pandemic. I'm cutting up some Brussels sprouts, by the way, and I have some salmon defrosting, and I don't know if I'm gonna have quinoa or sweet potatoes yet. Philly came around, and just being able to leave my house and be in another place was just refreshing. And being in Philly, for some reason, it just motivated me to start job searching again. When I was coming back from Philly, I had a layover in Charlotte. And when we landed in Charlotte, we were still on the plane, I prayed, I was like, God, the next time I go somewhere, I want Charlotte to be my final destination. That night, I got on LinkedIn and I saw a job posted, the one that I have now. And I don't know, when I saw that job, I just knew that I just felt like I was gonna get it. And so I applied there. The next day they reached out to me to set up an interview. So I did that, had that interview. They reached out to me for a second one, had that interview. They reached out to me for a third one. In that third interview, the person that interviewed me was like, you know what, the position that you applied for is great, but I think that you would be better in a higher up position. So I had a fourth interview for that position. And here I am in Charlotte. I feel incredibly blessed to have been offered a higher position than the one that I even first applied for. And in my last video, I said I did not want to do anything. I didn't want to do anything in the kitchen. I wanted to utilize my bachelor's degree, which is in business entrepreneurship. And this job is so closely linked to people and entrepreneurship. And my job is in the community sector of the work. I don't know why I'm being so vague. I'm gonna get into more at my job in another video. When I got back from Philly, 2 weeks later, I was going to Mexico. And so all those three interviews happened between the time I got back from Philly and then in preparation to go to Mexico. And then when I got back from Mexico, my final interview was the next day. Look at this Brussels sprout. So from then I had about 2 weeks to get a car, to find an apartment, to order furniture, to get my life together. My parents have been so incredibly helpful. I'm so thankful that I had them during this whole process. I could not imagine up and moving my whole life by myself, and I know people do it all the time. And kudos to people that have to do that. I think on Tuesday we overestimated how hard it would be, and I don't think people were like, "Hey, I'm moving into an apartment," but they don't share all of the stress, or maybe they don't experience any stress. But it was very stressful. So I drove from home, and so I'm about 3.5 hours from home, and that's the farthest I've ever driven. So I drove 3.5 hours straight here, and that was fine. But I was tired, and so after we got here, it was go, 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 move into my apartment, bring all my stuff up, go to Sam's, get a mattress, go to Walmart. And so much was happening that day. It was overwhelming. Driving in Charlotte is very, 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 very different. The intersections are ungodly here. The people act like they don't have any sense. I ended up going home with my parents on Tuesday because I didn't even have my bed wasn't even here. It wasn't coming into the next day. We didn't make it to Walmart, so I had no groceries. So I ended up going home with my parents on Tuesday night, and then we came back up on Wednesday, and my mom and my sister stayed with me from Wednesday until yesterday, which I am incredibly, incredibly thankful for. I don't say this in a braggy way, but I'm very thankful that I have parents that are supportive, like emotionally and financially. My dad like bought all my groceries, he bought my mattress, he bought my TV, and I don't know, I'm just very grateful that even though I did save up a lot of money and I did pay for a lot of things, like I'm grateful that my parents were able to either be here or financially support my new venture. So all of that brings me to present day. What's next? Well, today is Sunday. I start work tomorrow morning. I'm very nervous, but I feel like good about it. I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like this is a good job for me. How do I feel about being in Charlotte? I think the most challenging part has been like the driving portion. I drove to work just to find out where it is, and I quickly realized that I would not be driving to work because driving uptown was just a lot for me. Plus, I'm parking to park near my job is $190 a month, and that did not set right with my spirit either. So Charlotte has public transport. So when I was in college, I used to take like the light rail everywhere. So I can drive my car to a light rail station near me that's on my way to work, and then I can hop on the train, and it literally drops me off like 2 blocks in front of my building, and I don't have to pay $190 on parking. When you're an adult, you have to make more of an effort to make friends. It's not like we're in college where we're surrounded by people just like that. Like, you have to make more of an effort. So I'm not one of those people that's like, I don't need friends, blah, blah, blah. I think that's dumb when people say that. Like, everybody needs friends. So hopefully I find community very quickly. I'm not quite sure how I'm gonna do that yet, but we'll figure this thing out as we go. I'm gonna give an apartment tour soon when my apartment is finished. It's comfortable, but it's not completely done. So subscribe to my YouTube channel to see all my Charlotte adventures. Also follow me on Instagram and check out my blog at hannahshoja.com. Until next time, see you guys later.